Dora's Ghost Ship Adventure. Hola, explorers, said Dora, standing on the beach as the sun began to set. Boots the monkey scurried over, holding something he'd found in the sand. Look, Dora, a bottle. Dora smiled. Let's see what's inside. Subscribe right now to see if Boots and I can get 1,000 subscribers before our next adventure. Dora carefully pulled out the cork. Inside was an old, crinkly map. It's a map to a haunted ship, she gasped. The galleon of Captain Blueheart. Boots's eyes went wide. A ghost ship? Dora nodded excitedly. Let's go on a ghost hunt. But we can't go ghost hunting without ghost hunting gear, said Boots, looking a little nervous. Who do we ask for help when we need something? Dora asked with a grin. Backpack, they both shouted. Backpack sang her song, Backpack, Backpack, and opened wide. Inside were 2 bright flashlights, a special ghostometer that looked like a compass, and a long, sturdy rope. Gracias, Backpack, said Dora. The map is old, said Dora, studying it. Who can tell us about the legend of Captain Blueheart? Boots thought for a moment. Professor Hoot, the wise old owl in the Whispering Woods. Dora agreed. Great idea, Boots. Deep in the woods, they found Professor Hoot, who was wearing his reading glasses. The galleon of Captain Blueheart? He hooted thoughtfully. The legend says he wasn't a scary ghost. He was a lonely captain who loved to sing sea shanties. It will be very dark on your journey, said Professor Hoot. You'll need a guide. Just then, a tiny light blinked in the air. It was a friendly firefly. This is Sparky, said the professor. He will light your way. Hola, Sparky, said Dora. Now we have a light. But how do we get to the haunted galleon? Asked Boots. I know who to ask, said Dora. She called out, Map! The cheerful map popped out of Backpack's side pocket. I know the way, sang the map. First, you cross the foggy creek. Then you go through the echoing cave. And that's how you'll get to the haunted galleon. Let's go, cheered Dora. Sparky led them to Foggy Creek, where a thick mist hovered over the water. Look, said Boots, pointing to a fallen log. We can use it as a bridge. They carefully balanced and walked across the log to the other side. Next, they came to the entrance of a big cave. This must be the echoing cave, said Dora. She called out, Hola! The cave answered back, Hola, hola, hola. Boots giggled as his own laugh echoed all around them. When they came out of the cave, they were on a rocky shore, and there it was, floating silently in the misty water under the full moon. The haunted galleon. Wow, whispered Boots. They found a small rowboat tied to a rock. Using the rope from Backpack, they pulled the boat close and climbed in. Ready for our ghost hunt? Dora whispered. Ready, Boots whispered back. They began to row toward the giant ship. They climbed a rope ladder onto the ship's deck. It was dark and spooky. Creak! A floorboard made a loud noise. Boots got scared and leaped into Dora's arms. It's okay, Boots, Dora said bravely. We're explorers. Suddenly, the ghostometer in Dora's hand started to spin and glow. Look, she whispered. It's pointing to the captain's cabin. The ghost must be in there. As they got closer to the cabin door, they heard a strange sound. It was a soft, sad melody. Someone was singing a lonely sea shanty. They tiptoed to the door and listened. Dora took a deep breath and gently pushed the door open. Inside, a glowing, see-through figure sat at a large table, looking sadly at an old songbook. It was the ghost of Captain Blueheart. Hola, Dora said softly. The ghost looked up, startled. My word, you can see me? He said in a kind voice. I am Captain Blueheart. Please don't be afraid. I'm not a scary ghost, I'm just very lonely. Boots peeked out from behind Dora, no longer scared. You just like to sing? He asked. Captain Blueheart nodded sadly. I do. But a sea shanty is no fun to sing alone. I miss my crew. Just then, a familiar rustling came from the corner of the room. It was Swiper the Fox, wearing a pirate bandana. He was trying to sneak away with Captain Blueheart's treasure map. "Swiper," whispered Boots. Dora stood up tall. "Swiper, no swiping," she shouted. Boots joined in. "Swiper, no swiping!" Even Captain Blueheart floated up and boomed in his ghostly voice. "Swiper, no swiping!" Swiper snapped his fingers. "Oh man," he grumbled. He turned to run, but he slipped on a ghostly see-through cannonball and slid right out the cabin door. They all laughed as he disappeared. The map was safe. "We can be your crew, Captain Blueheart," Dora said happily. "We can sing with you." The captain's ghostly face lit up with joy. "You would do that for me?" So Dora, Boots, and their new friend sang loud and happy sea shanties together. The old ship was filled with cheerful music instead of spooky silence. Captain Blueheart glowed brighter than ever. He wasn't a haunted ghost, just a friendly captain who needed a friend. As the sun began to rise, it was time to go. They waved goodbye to the happy ghost pirate. "Adios, Captain Blueheart," Dora called. "We did it," she cheered to Boots as they rowed back to shore. "We made a new friend on our ghost ship adventure,